live. Let me see. Do you want me to tell you for sure if we're live right now? Hold on. Let's
I
look and
guess.
see,
I'm
because
pretty sure we're live.
I'm sure we are, but you
Yeah,
never
because I
know.
just got a notification on
I don't.
Discord.
Oh, really?
That's how you know we're live.
Gotta love Discord, even though like no one's people aren't talking in there though.
You know what? That's probably my fault. It was like,
It's
hey, you
okay.
guys like this Tyson James? And everybody's like, no. And they all left at the same time.
Dude, I was having a conversation the other day. I can't remember with who, but I was like, they brought up Bryson Gray, and I was like, regardless how you feel about him, Gray's pretty solid. Even not like a big
Tyson
fan of
James?
Tyson, but like, or Tyson James, yeah. I mean, he
Yeah.
can, he's got bars. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Like he's really good rapper, and he makes great videos.
wow. So let's just, you know, I'm trying to keep myself like I don't want to get too excited. I don't want to get too animated tonight. But here we are. We're live. 520 Collective. Check us out, 520collective.com. And we are
Yes,
here to
sir.
talk about what's been going on, man. So, on New Year's Eve, myself and our guy, KD the Vessel, we came on here and we talked about a tweet that was sent out by uh, Christon Gray talking about being bigger than the church, right? And it seemed
Yeah, it
like
was about last
he
week,
was
wasn't it?
just, yeah. So it was New Year's Eve. It was during the day on New Year's Eve. And it seemed like he was kind of wilding out, but then it's like, well, okay, maybe it's just a thing, right? Maybe it's just a moment. And I guess that moment has turned into but that moment has turned into something else completely, man. So, especially over the last like I don't know 24 48 hours, right? And and honestly, I didn't expect to be here, but some of his choices made us feel like we needed to be here and talk about it, or at least I felt like we should cuz um
At the time of scheduling this event.
right. So, you know, DJ Jeremiah from Track Stars, he made a tweet a few days ago asking about if you're a CHH artist and you had $1 million, how would you what would you do with it? And he put some scenarios out there. Anyway, um, nothing to do with Christon Gray, right? And Christon Gray decided to interject into the conversation and had nothing to say about what the original tweet from Jeremiah was.
About having
Right.
$1 million?
Yeah, well, okay. So the original tweet was CHH artist. If you had $1 million budget for a project, would you pay a mainstream producer who don't do CHH a 3/4 of your budget for one beat and give the rest to CHH producers, or spread the budget around to CHH producers only? Okay, so that's the
It's an
hypothetical.
oddly specific question, but yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
well,
I, I get where you're going.
he's throwing out a hypothetical, right,
Yeah.
and seeing how people respond. Cool. Then here comes Christon Gray. CHH died almost a decade ago. Only way out is low hanging fruit to another market. Nothing to do with the
Only
original.
way out.
Yeah, dude. There's some of this stuff that I just.
I mean,
You just
I
gotta
could agree
read
with
and
some
move
of
on.
that statement, but like he's got three things combined that I don't feel like go together. But I'm willing to hear the rest of it.
But it has. At the end of the day, though, it has nothing to do with what Jeremiah asked.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So it's like two different conversations
know,
now.
yeah. So he's just looking for things to jump into, right? And he's been saying these kind of crazy, off the wall, hyperbole, whatever. And people have been saying, dude, we don't understand what you're getting at. We don't understand your motives. Can you please, explain it better? And basically Kristen is refusing to do that. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
so I actually responded on this thread from the 520 account. And I'm going to pull it up. This is what I said right here. Hold on. So I said, Dear Mr. Gray, it seems like there's a lot of confusion as to what you are meaning with several of your recent statements on Twitter. We'd love to extend you an invitation to join us on a live stream and better explain. Let us know
Yeah.
and we can set it up. Okay. And then I can't show you everything here because there's some of it we don't have access to anymore. However, I'm looking at it on my phone from my personal account, so I can't see it.
What do you mean you
Christon
can't? You
Gray.
don't have access to it?
Oh, well, here I can hold on. Let me show you why. Because if we go to our account, um, actually, well, how am I gonna have to do this? Hold on. This because if we go to because Christon Gray blocked us. Okay, jumping ahead of ourselves a little bit here. However, he did respond first to that request to um, be able to, you know, talk with him, get a little bit more of an explanation as to what was going on with all of this, right? And in his original response, he just simply said, "No, thank you. It's in the music." And I'm gonna get back to this whole "it's in the music" um, part in a minute. But whenever he said "No, thank you," I simply responded with "No problem. The invitation stands if you change your mind." Right? No harm, no foul. And I don't know. It seemed innocent enough, right? And then, like we said, we go in and we look a little bit later that day, and I know we're not the only one that he blocked, but we were part of the blocking purge that Christon Gray went on. Um, I don't know, dude. Like,
That's hilarious because you're so respectful, and I straight up trolled him, and he didn't block me. I'm actually a little bit offended. Where's my
I know,
block? I
like,
didn't get blocked.
it
Like the
makes no
first thing
sense.
out of my mouth was "Go home, Christian. You're drunk," because I knew this can't be serious, but he was serious.
Well, because you had that nice interaction with him before he started blocking people. So he already forgot
Okay,
about
maybe
you.
yeah. So I'm an afterthought. I'm
Yeah.
offended, Christian Gray. Where's my block? You didn't drop an
Right?
F-bomb or nothing.
But dude, I don't know, man. Like this, it didn't set right with me, right?
Yeah.
Now I've had some thoughts over the last like 24 hours since all this happened with it. And I don't know. I mean, okay, so going back to where he said, "No, thank you. It's in the music." He keeps repeating this to a lot of people, right? He keeps
Mhm.
he keeps saying, people asking for clarification, asking, "Hey, do you mean this? Do you mean that?" And he's like, "It's in the music. It's in the music."
It's in the music. I just
My
think of that song, like "Everybody Dance Now," like in that voice. It's in the music. I'm sorry. I'm taking this halfway seriously.
No,
I've
it's
given you a
fine,
good
man.
48%.
Well, okay, and for the people who have not heard it, one thing that we are trying to or
For the
that
people watching this, like about this
well, I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. I think we were this is just a second, isn't it?
on air.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
This is a second time on air, but in real life, I
right.
think when it first
Well,
happened, it was like, "Hey, have you seen it?"
and
Then when
one
you all had the first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're fine, man. One thing that I've been challenging our team though is to um take the platform, take 520 Collective serious as media, right? Not that we weren't serious about it before, that we didn't view it as media before, but like there's I think others that we can go with this. And one thing is being willing to approach the things that are actually happening and don't kind of sugarcoat it. We don't have to necessarily be jerks, but we don't have to play nice either. If it's out there and this is what was said, we can say it, right? And this is what we're seeing happening, right? So
Yeah.
Christian Gray keeps saying it's in the music, you know. And the one thing I got to thinking about was he's not saying in what music it is in. Okay, I don't know if you're with me on that, but he's not
I'm
saying it's in
listening.
music. Okay, well, he's not saying it's in music that is already out. And the more
Oh yeah.
the more I try to step back and pull at it, I could be totally wrong. So this could blow up in my face, but I'm starting to. I mean, I really feel like he is doing an album rollout right now because he's released multiple singles recently. I'd have to go and look at it to know exactly how many. I know he's dropped at least like 2 or 3. And Christon Gray is not an artist that just releases singles and that's what he does. He releases projects, right? So I could see this as being a part of an album rollout. Now, I don't see the big picture if that's the case because as much as he's trying to separate himself from the church and from CHH, what listeners outside of CHH and maybe CCM are checking for Christon Gray's new album?
Yeah. And I'm checking right now. Like exactly like where is this being promoted? I don't know. Football, deep esoteric thoughts, more sports events, more esoteric thought. Like this is just your standard CHH artist Twitter feed. I don't even see what the marketing is here. Like that's all most like half of CHH is an esoteric thought and sports update or whatever game they're watching. And that's all I see on his thing too. And maybe okay, whatever Cheers is, I don't know.
Well, that's one of his singles.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I didn't want to play out while I'm looking.
So it seems like he's doing a rollout. But here's the thing: the people that are most likely to listen to your new project when you drop it is in the CHH, maybe CCM audience.
Yeah, the people that was with you on the come up, right?
Yeah, and right now you're alienating those people. So I don't see the bigger picture of it. I mean, maybe it's gonna work, and maybe people are gonna tune in when he drops.
Know what's going on, and he's gonna be at the Super Bowl or something. Because like that's the only way I see this like mattering. To the degree that you're just like, I don't need my old audience. I'm just gonna go with this new one. You froze up.
Check it out.
Oh. I froze up or you froze up. One of the two. One of us got dropped for a second.
I'm back. I'm back. Well,
no, I was saying that I don't
you.
see this. Okay. So, and that's the thing. Like, he's gonna have some sort of gigantic signal boost from a third party, or this is the weirdest album rollout I've ever seen.
Yeah. So I guess my question is as those of us in the Christian culture, if he is doing this as part of a album rollout, are we going to just go right along with it and listen to it and try to figure out, okay, what did it all mean? Or is he saying and doing things that are going to actually turn people off and keep people from checking it out? Because honestly, he has said some stuff, and I know Zero is away at the moment, but he has said some stuff, man, to people. Now, when I say said, obviously I mean using his Twitter fingers, but he's responding to people in some ways that I don't know, man. I don't know how people move on past it and act like it's no big deal, right? Like Thistle put out a long response to him talking about if you feel like CHH is dead. And that's the thing too, man. Like, dude, if CHH is dead, well, for one, there's been people saying CHH is dead for a long time now. So if it's been dead, if it's been dead for that long, why are so many people having to kill it over and over and over again?
I don't know.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, you said if CHH is dead, why do people have to keep killing it?
Yeah, because you shouldn't. My point is, you shouldn't have to kill something over and over if it's dead.
If it's dead, my whole thought on the CHH is dead topic is that it's CHH is a like trademark branding of some sort. It's like a kind of Christian rap. And I think that it had its heyday a few years ago. We like Scribe said something about us all being on the same team, and I know that was a little bit of back and forth between him and DJ. And I kind of agree with Scribe. Like the whole same team thing was that was the high point of CHH, you know, R with the little circle around it trademark. But like Christian rap, holy hip hop, you know, Christian music, that's not dead. That's not going away. I think people keep trying to rehash the heyday of, you know, 116, and everybody seemed to be like on the same page, and now they're not even reading the same book, obviously. So we got Christians that are still trying to figure out what it means to be a Christian, but they want to be rappers too. That's why I feel like CHH is dead. Like that's the cool kids club. I think a lot of Christian rap has kind of moved on from that. And then you still got the old guard that before CHH was a thing, it was gospel hip hop, it was Christian rap, and those guys are still around, and those are the OGs. That's just my opinion, though.
No, and it's valid, but at the same time, I don't care what you call it; it's still the same stuff, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
should be. But the
Well, I
point
mean,
is,
like, I
though,
guess people like Christian trying to insult all of what we do as CHH is dead, and like maybe he sees it that way, maybe he doesn't see it that way, but I don't think most people see Christian rap as CHH. I think that's a small fraction of Christian rap fans. Maybe not a
yeah,
small fraction, but that's a piece of Christian rap fans. And that whole era is like, it's like new metal, you know, like new metal was really big in the early 2000s, and now it's not really that big anymore. It's like a kind of Christian rap, and right now I feel like Christian rap is trying to redefine itself as a collective and figure out what we all are, because CHH was like the cool kid in high school who was kind of a jerk to a lot of people.
yeah. Well, all I know is I see Christon Gray, responding to someone like Thistle, calling him a true Pharisee, wanting him to say more. Um,
Wow.
I can't. I don't have it pulled up right here, but I know like Bats responded to him, and yeah, Bats had a couple of typos in his
Bats is
tweet,
pretty new
whatever.
school,
But
man.
huh?
I said Bats is pretty new school, ain't he?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just the way that Christon Gray is responding to people. Like it's like, dude, like grow
Well,
up a
that's what
little
I'm
bit,
saying.
man.
Like
Because
Thizzle
like
is
he,
CHH,
yeah, but like
and
Bat,
he's
but like with Bats, like I said, Bats had a couple of typos in his tweet, and that's what Christon Gray focuses on, like learn to spell. That I think basically that was his response to Bats
well, he's
instead of
trolling and he thinks it's funny.
yeah,
Like he thinks he's fun. You know how it is. Like when you, I don't want to be insulting. Like, but like when you get in the mood and you're like, I'm just gonna do this, and I think that's what he's been doing the last couple days, really. Like he's not taking it serious. He's just on Twitter. I know he's got his thing and he knows how to shake people up and how to ruffle some feathers. And the thing that's sad about it is that you have people who genuinely care enough to get on Twitter and say, hey, what's going on? Let me talk to you. Like, and they're just getting like trolled.
yeah. Well, and that's the sad thing about it too, right? Because I mean, well, maybe that's the wrong phrase to use, but like there's genuinely people that want to see this change for Kristen, right? There's people who
Yeah.
are praying for Kristen in this situation because he has been a person that the space has championed, right?
He's been a part of the
Someone asked
movement.
someone asked him, "Wait, aren't you a Christian rapper, or did I miss something?" And his response was, "I used to be, but the genre was too small." Dude, like
For what? Like, okay, so this
I
like
don't know. Get
seems like
over
it's
that.
moving into another thing, because there's a lot of industry cats who are like, for one, they're genuinely ungrateful of their position. Let's just put that out in the forefront. But they get into the industry, and then it's like, because I guess they can't link arms with country music fans, there's people who have way more resources. They're bitter now. It's like if you're at the Dove Awards, that's something you should just be grateful for in itself. But they got to have all the fans and all the accolades, and it's like, just be grateful for what you actually have, because there's people still selling CDs out the trunk of their car. You're like, have a seat at the table in the industry, and that's not enough. I'm sick of hearing about it. It's like listening to rich kids whine and cry about how unhappy they are.
Yeah. I'm tired about this debate about it. Is it a small genre or is it a big? It doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be a genre, right? It's hip hop.
It's what we have.
It's
You don't hear people on Haiti talk. Well, maybe you do, but like people who live on islands don't care how big continents are. They just live on the island that they live on. That's what you have. That's your house.
yeah. I don't know, man. Like it's
I don't know,
weird.
man. I think a
And
lot of these people are ungrateful. That
yeah,
keep
I mean,
making these statements.
I think a lot of us wanted to initially we're like, okay, Kristen's gone the deep end here. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, it's something else, and I keep going back to it's got to be this got to be part of an album rollout, and I just don't understand
Yeah, what the end
the
game
thought
is.
behind it. Yeah, I don't see the end
Because
game
it's like I'm willing
because
to let anybody have a bad day as far as they can take it, and just be like, wow, he's really gonna, regret that in the morning when he wakes up, or next week, or whenever this is over. He's throwing a temper tantrum. I'm willing to give people that. This seems like something else completely.
and one second, sorry, uh, and here's where else I go with all this is, man, regardless of how this all shakes out with Christon Gray, my question for the independent for the indie the indie artists in the space, the guys that are coming up trying to get their footing, get their place and all this, what are you going to learn from this?
Oh
Like,
man,
there's a
that's a
lot of
very good
stuff that
question.
happens. There's a lot
Please
of stuff
learn
that
from this.
happens. Yeah. Good,
Because there's
bad,
dudes that are gonna think like
whatever.
this is legit and how you get your way. It's like I can already see it now.
Well, what we're going to
Don't be
see
that
is
guy.
if Kristen Gray is dropping an album and that's what all this is about and it ends up working for him.
Like, is he gonna
Some
be
other people are going
rewarded
to
for his
follow.
behavior?
Some other people are going to follow in those footsteps, right? And we do not
Hmm.
need this kind of energy. We don't need this kind of negativity. We don't need this isn't how we treat each other, right?
Yeah.
This does not make me want to listen to your music. So if you're an artist out here, make notes of that. Say, look, you need to watch everything and you need to have 2 columns in your notebook, right? When you see good ideas that you can maybe, take a little bit from and be inspired from, put that in your prose. You need a column of things I will not and should not do, right?
Yeah. Don't be a cautionary tale, you know. I would like to highlight at this moment Proverbs 24, 19 through 29. And it starts with do not envy evil people, and don't be jealous of the wicked. Uh, because you brought that to my attention. Like this could work for them. And how many people are going to be like, oh, well, I guess that's what I need to do. And you remember the whole like deconstruction movement. I don't even know if that's over, but people keep getting rewarded for their bad behavior. And the Bible instructs us, God's people, not to be envious of not to covet the things that the wicked gain, especially by wicked means. And this is just wickedness. I feel like it's ungrateful. It's wicked. It's not a good path. It's not a good demonstration of how Christian musicians of any stripe should be behaving, or
Yeah.
seeking to gain or game the system, or however you want to look at it. Proverbs 24, 19, 29, and Psalm 37. And I'm going to post both of those in the chat if you want to reference them later. But I feel like maybe some younger folks or whoever needs some biblical encouragement, because I can only say so much out of my own frustration. But this isn't new. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the Bible.
Yeah. Well, and again, I also think like, okay, if you're trying to separate yourself from the Christian hip hop space, if you're saying you left it behind, well, one, you didn't leave it very far behind because you keep jumping back into conversations that are happening within Christian hip hop. You're inserting yourself into stuff that No one else has asked you to come be a part of. No one has reached out to you saying, "What are your thoughts?" Right? But if you are trying to get to the mainstream and you're trying to get that audience, how is this going to help you do that either? Because guess what? That mainstream audience, they're not going and reading these Twitter threads.
Dude, like 95% of the mainstream audience doesn't even know what Christian rap is.
Well, yeah,
It's such a
but so I'm
small
saying, like,
fraction of music.
I don't know if you're trying to score some cool points and be like, "Hey, look at me, I'm bashing these guys," or whatever. I'm being a jerk to them and haha, pointing my finger at them. Who's seen you do it? Who's seen you do it besides us?
Yeah, there
And
has
you're
to be a better
and you're
way. That's what I
oh
mean, like,
man.
none of
And if
this
and
is
if
new. It's all like, insert celebrity is bashing the church because they want to be more famous. How many times have we seen this? Like, in the last 2 years alone? Like, why do people keep trying to be different by doing exactly what everybody else is always doing?
I don't know, man, because
There has to be an end
if
game here.
you're if we're so small and insignificant and you're bigger than us and you're bigger than the church, you're wasting a lot of energy just trying to piss us off, I guess. And most and I don't even know that anyone's mad, you know?
I'm annoyed because I've
Yeah, it's
talked
annoying,
about
it's
Christon
sad.
Gray in a media context exactly 0 times since until last week. Um, and I mean, it was like he was like somebody I was glad was there. Like I'll be honest, I wasn't really like a fan, but I didn't hate his music. I knew about it, but it wasn't going out of my way to find it. And now we're talking about him, so I guess there's that. But it's not in the positive. It's not like, hey, I sure do like that Christian Grey song. It's like, oh boy, this guy's doing another. I don't want to drag anybody under the bus. It's frustrating. I don't want you to be the topic of whatever we're doing because you're being frustrating.
Yeah. It does make me look back at, like, a record like Open Door that he did and wonder, okay, was that him saying, "I'm leaving this space"? I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, I mean, I've seen people say it, but I'm with you, I don't wanna try to throw shade at it, but I mean, like, there are people said, this is coming from a guy whose last real success was in 2016 when it comes to dropping a CHH album.
Yeah, like, and I
I
would
mean,
feel better if like I owed him something like I do Lecrae, like or Trip Lee or Fanatic. Like when Fanatic walked away from the faith, that actually hurt me because I felt like I owed Fanatic
yeah,
something because he contributed to the path of my salvation and my gravitating toward this space. Like
yeah,
Fanatic, that was a big deal for me. But like with Christian Grey, not so much. I was like, I guess it's cool. There's another singer out there. And again, I'm not trying to denigrate it. It's just like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like what? Okay, he's mad. Like and
yeah,
and like I feel more about Christians who are being persecuted in violent countries, and people who are giving something up for the faith. Um, and people who are nobodies and they're struggling and they're doing the best that they can just so that they can stay close to God because they don't want to go back to the life that they're from. Like I have a lot more bandwidth for those people than these like entitled spoiled rich kids who are already in the space that everybody else is aspiring to, and if for some reason it's not good enough. I'm sorry, like that's not my problem. That like go figure out your existence if that's what you want to do. But like there are way more people that are actually struggling with real problems. I don't have time to worry about your first world problem ungratification nonsense.
yeah. Well, and like we said, we're not gonna drag this on. Um,
Yeah, because I
it's
can't say anything else that's helpful.
it, yeah, because at the end of the day, until Kristen decides to actually give some insight into his purpose for all this, it's all gonna be speculation anyway, right? We're trying to look at what we're seeing, um, and talk about that issue. We're trying to maybe take that based off of past experiences and hypothesize a little bit here, I guess. But um, here, there's a couple of things I want to say before we wrap it up. One being it's sad to me, and I hope we see a turnaround because we know, one, we see Taylor, which I know just because they're brothers, they're not the same person and they have different experiences and all this stuff. But we see Taylor doing some really amazing stuff in this space, and he gets more love than Christon, if we're going to be honest about it, right? But they both grew up in a household that was centered around the gospel, right? Their dad's a pretty, this is all just common stuff that's out there. We know this. So that means that Christon knows the truth, and right now he's doing everything he can, apparently, or at least it seems like he's doing everything he can to try to pretend like it's not there, right? That he doesn't know it, or that it can't affect him. I don't know. The other thing I want to say is, what I said on Twitter, about having that invite on the table. If Christon wants to come on and talk with us, we will talk with him. That still stands.
Yeah. Now I'm willing to talk to anybody, whether we agree or not. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I hope that I'm just saying. I hope it would be amazing if we woke up and we had a message from him. He said, "You know what? I changed my mind. Let's talk." Cool. Let's talk.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
Door would be open. The door would be open, and we would be genuinely concerned about what went wrong and how we can help other Christians not fall down that same path. Because at the end of the day, my main concern is Christians as a whole. I mean, I do care about specific individuals because I'm a person, but like way more bandwidth for Christians who are trying not to fall away from the faith. And that's the beauty of the grace of Christ, right? He leaves the 99 to go after that one, because there's a bunch of people like me who are like, okay, fine, go be ungrateful. I don't care. And I don't mean I don't care at all. Like it's just too hurtful to keep contributing like to your nonsense when there are other people over here who actually want to be helped. And so like whenever you're ready to come back and try to help those people, then I'm pretty sure every Christian platform is just waiting with open doors, and everything will be fine, because that's what forgiveness is about. But if this nonsense is the main thing on your mind, like none of us are interested in that, because there's way too much at stake. So you go be famous. We'll try to continue working on saving souls.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Let us know what you think. Hit the comments. Of course, check out 520collective.com. And we'll see. Maybe this is it. Maybe maybe this is the end of the conversation. The one thing I can promise you is 2023. We need to do better as a space. We are committed to doing better as a platform, and we are going to keep on pushing ourselves to bring you what we feel is relevant conversation to events that are happening that impacts this culture. So, Zero,
love you guys.
Where do they follow you at, dude?
I'm on Twitter, Zero for Hire on Twitter, or you can go to thezerohour.com to hear my crazy ramblings on the podcast. And yeah, that's it.
Cool. Same thing, man. On Twitter, Eric Boston 3. So hit us up. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments. And we'll be back here Friday night. We got an interview with YP and the commissioner. Going to talk about their new project, Guillotines on the East. And then we got another Guillotines on the East 2. Sorry about that. Oh man. We got a different.
Sorry. Different. I was doing your background music while you were.
Nice. I appreciate it. I need that. We'll also be here Saturday night. We got a cool topic to discuss, and we'll leave it at that. Let's go.
You're not gonna want to miss it.